Miss Katie here. Happy Wednesday. Today we are doing junior drawing, step 1, experiment with different materials. And I'm going to teach you how to use graphite, ink pens, charcoal, and oil pastels. We have a lot of fun things that we're going to be learning about. So throughout all these different mediums, I'm going to be focusing on methods of shading and how to get different levels of contrast with the different things that we're using. So it's going to be pretty neat. So like I said, all that you need are graphite pencils. I'm using just a standard number 2 pencil, which will work just fine. Ink pens, you can get the fancy kind, or you can just use your typical ink pen. I am using hard charcoal, but there are lots of different types of charcoal that's available, but this is what I'm using. And then I'm just using a small pack of oil pastels. So let's go ahead and begin. So I'm going to start with our pencils, or our graphite, and I'll just start by saying that pencils are really great for fine lines and details, and there's a lot of different ways that you can use pencils to experiment with shading. So let's begin. So I'm going to start by drawing 4 boxes, and I'll just kind of show you the different strategies for shading, and then I'll apply them to a picture when I'm done. Okay, so I got my 4 boxes. The first strategy that I'm going to teach you about is called hatching, and this is when you draw parallel lines that are all facing in one direction. So I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see, so I'll just do it and then I'll hold it up. So it's pretty simple, there's really nothing to it, but it's when all the lines go in one direction like so. So that's hatching. Now, you can also do it. Draw another box. You don't always have to go straight down. You can go diagonal or horizontal. But the idea here is that the lines are closely placed together to where it adds kind of a level of shadow and, I guess, depth perception. So let me show you. So like in this one, I placed some lines closer together, and you can kind of see that in the middle there, it kind of looks a little heavier. So that's hatching, easy peasy. Now I'm going to teach you how to cross hatch. Same concept, you're drawing lines, but they eventually are going to cross over each other. So step 1 of cross hatching, same thing, you just start off like you're doing your line straight down, like so, but the next step is you're going to cross over, like the title entails. And you can push your pencil down in lighter portions of your drawing and then push down harder to make it darker again. And again, this is just another way to get shading. So this is hatching, this is cross hatching. Okay, now we're going to do something called scumbling, and this is pretty fun. So you're just going to make tiny squiggly circular lines, and it's kind of like controlled scribbling. Like so. Now, again, to make it more dark in certain areas, you can just go over your original scribbles in certain sections and keep them light in the others. Like that. So that's scumbling. And then our last method is called stifling. And this is used using lots and lots of dots. And the same concept. You just put more dots in certain areas to make it look darker. As you can see, this one takes a little bit of time, but it's actually pretty cool. Okay, so I'll just do that little corner. So that is stifling. Now, so we have our 3 strategies. And now I can show you guys how to apply it to an actual picture. So let's say I want to draw a sphere. And I want to draw my sphere doing cross hatching. So I'm going to do my second strategy, the lines down and then crossing over each other. So a good place to start is you're going to start in the darkest portion of your sphere. So let me show you. So I'm going to start, just imagine there's an imaginary circle. I'm going to start towards the bottom here. I'm just going to do little lines. Just to kind of give it more of a shape. But because this is the bottom of my sphere, I'm going to make more lines on the bottom to make it look darker or more shadowy. Remember, cross-hatching, you just go across in the opposite way of your original lines. Okay, and as I'm going up my shape, I'm getting a little lighter because we don't need as much contrast because the light is hitting our sphere as it typically would in real life. So that kind of gives it a little bit of zest versus just using regular pencil marks. So kind of like that. And you can keep going and you can make it more defined, but you get the idea. So that is my pencil. And again, there are lots of different ways that you can use this, but I'm kind of just going to start with the basics. And okay, so let's move on to our charcoal. Again, this is my hard charcoal, and charcoal is really good for blending and using deep contrast. So typically when you're using a charcoal material, you're going to use this for the darkest portions of your drawing. And I like to mix mediums. I like to use pencil and ink and charcoal together because they all kind of offer something a little different. But I'll show you how to do this. So, same thing. Now I guess I'm just going to do a freehand to kind of show you. Let's see, what should I draw? I guess I'll do a flower. So it's the same with the pencil. Press down lighter if you want, obviously, lighter strokes, and then darker for the heavier stuff. Charcoal is one of my favorites because you can really make beautiful dramatic lines, and then you can just take your finger or a paintbrush even, and you can just kind of smear it however you want. And it ends up giving you a really pretty, smooth product. Really heavy down here. Let's see. So this darkness down here is actually called a shadow. So just imagine a ball on a table, and like I was kind of hinting at earlier, there's always going to be natural light when it hits an object, but your cast shadow is the darkest surrounding surface of whatever object. So for example, this is a ball sitting on a table. Because the ball is sitting on the table, it is blocking the light from underneath. So it's going to be pretty dark down here. The darkest, in fact. And you can just kind of smear it out. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. Now, let's see. I'm going to show you guys some more with the charcoal. So I'm going to, like I said, I was going to do a flower. So let's do a flower for you guys. And again, you can make really just dramatic lines. And what I love about it is there's a lot of freedom with this medium. You can use it in really strict defined ways, or you can be more kind of freehand and do kind of more of a sketch, which is my favorite style. So I'm just gonna kind of do my thing here. Oops. Now, like I said, there are lots of different types of charcoal. I'm using a hard charcoal, but there's a type of charcoal called vine charcoal, and that's really great for detail work. So for example, if I had a vine today, I would probably put my details in my flower throughout there. I'm just gonna kind of make do with what I got. Sorry for the shakes, guys. I'm going to start mixing, because the graphite actually looks really beautiful against the darkness of the charcoal, and it can give me that detail work that I'm craving. In my eyes, there's really no wrong way to do this. There's a lot of technical art strategies, but I just think you kind of do your thing, make it what you want. Same thing, I'm gonna replicate that dark shadow over here. The strokes it makes are so pretty. Your fingers, so smooth, and it kind of imitates graphite in a lot of ways. But with your pencil, you just get kind of a metallic feel against the black. Now, let's see. Let's do fill in that background. Okay, what do we think? Okay, I'll stop there because I want to show you guys some more stuff. But that's kind of my mixture of graphite and charcoal. So pretty cool, the blend. Now, let's talk about ink pens. Ink pens are really great because they offer a really structured line. And you can't blend them like you can your graphite or your charcoal, but it still offers just a really high contrast, which I like against other mediums as well. So let me show you how to do it. So same thing, you can take the strategies I showed you up here and you can apply it to your ink pen work, or you can kind of just do whatever you want. So let's see, I'll do a flower using this method up here. Let's see. So you want to be careful because you don't have as much control with your ink pens in regards to how hard you press down, but you can, if you do a mixture of other things, you can kind of get what you're going for. For example, because I want it to be lighter right here, I can use a pencil to kind of fill that in. Just put fewer strokes along that side. Get my basic shape going on, and then I'll go back. Let's see. This is pretty simple. You're just kind of controlling your scribble, and you don't have to do it throughout your whole picture. Do a mixture of the hatching and the scumbling. See how that works out. So I got some leftover charcoal on the finger. Let's do some more definition. See how much darker that charcoal is than your graphite and your ink pen? That's a good distinction. So I would probably stick to your ink pen for, again, the fine lines, just because there really isn't as much freedom. But we can kind of get creative and make it work. Ink pen is actually really pretty against watercolors because watercolors are so smooth and kind of translucent that just the stiffness of the pen against those light pastel watercolors can be really, really pretty. More Scumbling. What do you guys think? Do you have a favorite so far? Do you like them kind of all together like I'm doing? Fill in those voids back there. Okay, so there's my Scumbling, there it is, with the ink pen and the graphite, and then I obviously put some charcoal in there. Pretty neat. Okay, and now I'm going to show you guys oil pastels. Let's see. Okay, so I got all my colors. Oil pastels are, again, really great for shading, and they obviously offer that color definition that we've been lacking. But what I love about oil pastels is you can really add really beautiful colors together and make them kind of look just really free-flowing, and it's just, there's a lot of artistic freedom with oil pastels. And again, you're just going to kind of use your fingers and mix colors. I like to always start with a white because your oil pastels are meant to be mixed together. And if you start your picture with a white color, it gives your other colors something to bind to as you're blending. So you'll see. Okay. Again, I'm just gonna keep it classic and do my flower. And my hands are covered in charcoal, but it's okay. And with oil pastels, you can do a lot of highlighting and low lighting. You can really end up with a beautiful piece with this. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna do my cooler colors actually. So I'm gonna do my purples and my blues, and then I'll show you guys how they all kind of mix together. So I'm just gonna take my first color and I'm gonna go directly over the white line I just created. And it would help if you didn't have charcoal all over your fingers. Hey, maybe it'll be cool. And you just kind of color. And I like to pull down because that kind of redefines whatever line you've drawn. It just adds that pretty artistic blur. Okay, so I've got my light purple. Now I'm gonna go to a deeper shade. And I'm just gonna add more mixture in there. Do a dark streak here. And let's do a blue. And you just kind of pull it together. Again, it's kind of turning a little black, but that's just because of the charcoal on my fingers, but you guys get the idea. Ooh, just carved a little bit with my finger. That's kind of cool. I'm just gonna go with that. There's my charcoal. So I like to always start on the outer, kind of work my way in. And again, this is definitely mixed medium. I wouldn't put, if you are going to decide to kind of do like I'm doing, don't put your charcoal directly over your oil pastel because it won't mix well. But for shading purposes, it works great against the right colors. And I'm just doing some more kind of cross hatching, crisscross. Mix with color too, great way to blend. First little part. I'm just going to keep going. Let's do. Let's do a little bit. So again, the idea with oil pastels is that you use colors of the same tone to kind of add more definition in your highlights and your lowlights. Okay, I'm gonna do green right here. I'm going to get a deeper color. Do it down here. And crosshatch. bring this color up here. And again, that white underneath is doing awesome by just kind of helping drag the color throughout the petal. Okay, let's do, let me go this way so I don't get it all over my hands. Do some of this. Let's see. Got the Scumbling going on. It's super dark. So far, back to my background. Okay. So that's just my regular hatch. I think it looks good as is. I may leave it just like that. A little bit right here. If you want to get more texture, you can take your charcoal and you can kind of use the head of it, or you can take off your label and do it like a crayon. Let's see. Alright, let's do some orange. Just so pretty. Running out of fingers that aren't covered. Beautiful. Okay. Let's do pink. I'm not gonna do this stifling with the oil pastels because I think it's too thick and the dots wouldn't show. Never underestimate the power of the white underneath, because once you cover up, oh, oops, once you cover up that white on your paper, you can never get it back. So be careful what areas you choose to cover with color. I think I'll just cover that mistake up with some dark red. How about that? Cross-hatching. Clean finger. Okay. Now orange down a little bit more. Looking good. Just wait to blend this till I'm done with my color. All right, let's do a darker green. Darkest on the bottom. Highlight through there. Cross-hatching. There we go. Okay, well, used about all my colors. Let's just do brown. down to wherever you want it to go. Okay, let's see. I guess I will do another purple, huh? No, let's do gray. Okay, now I'm going doing charcoal. My favorite part. Just think that, again, the contrast against the color is always going to be so pretty. Too hard. Hold on again though. Well. Come on. These fancy pens that you have to unravel. Let's see. How about this? I'll just do it like this. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like the harsh lines. It's not all blended. Do some more cross-hatching. Okay, now I'm going to take my pencil. I'm going to get that metallic in there. Kind of breaks up the heavy dark lines that our charcoal gave us. All right. I think I'm done. Let's see. Okie doke, guys. What do we say? Okay, I think I'll stop there. Let me show you what I got. Pretty cool stuff. So again, that's using our cross-hatching and our scumbling and all different types of things. But I think I used every medium. Pretty cool. So that is junior drawing, step 1, explore some materials. And I forgot to mention in the beginning, as far as paper goes, they have certain papers for your ink pens or your charcoal. Today I just used computer paper and it worked totally fine. So let me know what you thought. I hope you guys have fun. Show your pictures of what you guys create. I would love to see them, but have a great day. Bye.